She-Bag got me.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. They'll start on the ground here on first down. He finds some way to turn this into positive yardage as he struggles forward for a pickup of about 2.
And you and I, partner, we got the plum assignment this week. An unbeaten team against a one-loss team. Really not much separating these two entering play here today.
Not much at all, and I think for both coaches, they've looked at their team and said, guys, you got to know what you're getting into in this one, and you better be ready to go because you get to answer the big question of the day. Are we as good as we think we are? We're about to find out.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Back to throw. Valentine. He's going to loft one deep left side here.
And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
Well, that's not the way you want to start a first pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And to the right side here, it's Allen.
And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Valentine. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown.
Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback.
And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too.
On 1st and 10, Kaiser. He rifles one that's intercepted.
And the Giants are going to take possession of the football. So they gave up the big play on the touchdown in the first drive, Charles, and now they were looking for a big play of their own. Instead, they throw the interception.
And, Brandon, they came right out and went for it, trying to push the ball downfield. But remember, the other side ran a few plays before their big one, so they got a little impatient there, and it cost them.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, this defense for the Bucs, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
To throw on third down, Valentine. Going deep here for Allen.
And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points, but he could not get that to stick, and that is a golden opportunity wasted there.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level. And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's second down. The Bucs at 5-1 here in this early part of the season. They're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Kaiser is going to float this one deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play that time for Tampa Bay. 42 yards. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Ready?
Oh, how about this on first and goal? And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
You got to be ready for anything when you play defense against this head coach. That is not something you'd expect to see here in the red zone, but it winds up getting him a few yards.
Ready?
On 2nd down now. Sheldon, and I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going to play action since you ran it twice.
And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great effort there. With his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers have got it back to within a score. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Valentine. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Mills. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Rookie to rookie on the hookup there, and it's a first down.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried to run through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
He finds his man, complete. It's Mills. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Throw left side, complete. That's Mills. Touchdown! A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And they are able to add on to their advantage. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive, 1st and 10. They'll throw here. Kaiser. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if your team has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time looked well for a solid gain.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A gain there of 30 big ones.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On 2nd down, Sheldon, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
this play to move the sticks.
Now Kaiser. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Willis.
He's going to have the first down and more than that.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A great effort there. 34 yards.
And the Bucs have cut it back within a score.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions.
It's caught inside the 25.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Now a handoff up the middle. Spears. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On 2nd down now, Spears. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And coughed it up. Touchdown, Giants. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen. And it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10.
And cycle. Let's go. Charge. 5-97. Drill green.
To throw is Kaiser. Ellington has it, middle of the field. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 3rd
catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Love the play call that time. Love the design. You put 3 tight ends on the field. That screams jumbo set, running formation to a defense, right? No, they go play action, and defense gets confused for just a split second. And next thing you know, completion for good yardage.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
Ready, set.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. From the gun, Kaiser.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
And the Giants are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. On first down, Valentine. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
And now they start in plus territory following that turnover as they'll try to get some points here before halftime.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. It's a solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Valentine. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Valentine. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Bucs are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line.
Well, I would guess that combined, if you spoke to both defenses, neither side has a lot to celebrate today. They haven't had a lot of stops, but that one right there, that's a big one because they stole points away with that play. And just as importantly, picked up a key stop on an offense that's been really impressive here in the early going.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll keep it on the ground. Sheldon, and obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Up the middle they go. Sheldon, and they will get to him behind the line, but the clock continues to tick down. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
So we come upon halftime here with the visiting Giants out on top. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. So this a 2-possession ball game as we get back underway, set for the 3rd quarter. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And that's complete. It's Allington. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
That was an okay hookup there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Kaiser.
And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Giants touchdown. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Fair catch made on 25-yard line. The Bucs take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And they run the option on second down.
And some room to maneuver.
And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
Well, most quarterbacks, when you talk about their big playability, you talk about the arm, but this, an absolutely huge play with a leg.
And also with his mind, because he had to see this play develop in order to make the decision to keep it and run. And how about him looking up and seeing the seas part for him once he got past the line of scrimmage? My first thought, I think he can go all the way, and I'm trying not to take over. Your call on this play, partner.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Kaiser. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Giants touchdown.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick-6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. As confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
Okay, ready?
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On first down. Sheldon, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
A loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12 at the 36-yard line.
They'll try to throw here. Kaiser, he's going to float this one deep right side. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A big play there. 64 yards. And the Bucs are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. They'll try and throw for it. And this is incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. One of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And the Giants send out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. This is taken at the 15. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football.
It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Kaiser to throw it. Forced out to his left. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Again, it's Kaiser. And that's incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. 4th down, Kaiser, desperation time. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Bucs try it on 4th down, but come up empty. And the Giants are going to get the football back. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Valentine. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Fielded just inside the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 46-yard line.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Kaiser. And my goodness, another interception. And the Giants are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it. I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Valentine. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our own?
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but
They'll take the three, and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
The offense on third down, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10.
Okay, ready?
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, fourth quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
Ready, set. Ready.
And they take a knee.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
And they'll indeed take a knee. And the Giants send out their punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Pulled in at the 24. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
They'll keep it on the ground. Sheldon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their head.